begin tonight with a high-stakes debate. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump will soon come face-to-face for the first time in what can only be described as the most consequential night of the 2024 election season. Sade, along with Mike Marza, anchoring our coverage tonight in Philadelphia at the site of the debate, perhaps the only debate between the two candidates. Folks?
Well, that's right, Bill. With no other debates officially on the calendar, this will undoubtedly be the best shot either candidate has to sway any undecided voters.
You can feel a lot on the line tonight. This is an extremely close race, both nationally and right here in battleground states like Pennsylvania. Speaking of close, Vice President Harris and former President Trump will be standing just feet apart on the stage. Here are the two podiums. And this is going to be the remarkable moment of the night. This is the first time the two have even come face to face.
I can't wait to see that first moment. Will they look at one another? Will they shake hands? Well, anyway, in just a few minutes, I'll take you inside the debate room, but we want to start with what we could expect tonight. In just a matter of hours, the eyes of the world will be on this stage for one of the most pivotal debates in generations. Vice President Harris arriving in Philadelphia last night. President Trump en route to Philadelphia right now. Earlier today, he did a phone interview with NBC News and spoke about the debate and his opponent, saying, quote, "You don't know what to expect. She's changed all of her policies over the years." For her part, Harris last week said she has an idea of what she'll see from Mr. Trump.
We should be prepared for the fact that he is not burdened by telling the truth. And we should be prepared for the fact that he is probably going to speak a lot of untruth.
This will be Trump's 7th presidential debate. His strategy in the past, to antagonize and intimidate.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
And while this is Harris's first presidential debate, she is a former prosecutor who has a strong history of holding her own on a debate stage.
He will not raise taxes on anybody who makes less than $400,000 a year.
He said he's going to repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait.
I'm speaking.
Harris's aides wanted to try to goad the former president into delivering incoherent rants. The Trump team wants him to remain restrained and focused on the economy, immigration, and global unrest.
I think this is very exciting and nerve-wracking, and there's a lot of tension in this country.
I think it's going to be interesting to watch. I'm interested to hear what both individuals have to say.
And Harris and her team did a walkthrough of the debate floor for about 20 minutes this afternoon with a team of about 10 people. Meanwhile, Trump is not expected to arrive here until around 6:30 or 7 o'clock tonight.
Now let's look at some of the parameters, some of the rules for the night. These were set by ABC News and then agreed on by both camps. Candidates will be introduced by the moderators. No opening statements. Closing statements will be 2 minutes per candidate. Microphones muted when it's not their turn to speak. No props or pre-written notes. And no topics or questions shared in advance. And as we've said, no audience in the room. The campaigns, however, can bring in guests. And get this, the Harris camp inviting Anthony Scaramucci and Olivia Troy, two former Trump administration officials who have become outspoken critics of the former president. A move clearly, Sade, designed to get under Mr. Trump's skin.
Oh, that's going to go on both sides. Well, and speaking of guests and surrogates, we want to turn now to the third member of our team, Eyewitness News anchor Tanya Rivero. She was just a few blocks away in the spin room. Tanya?
That's right, Mike and Sade. You just mentioned Anthony Scaramucci. He showed up here at the spin room just moments ago. I had the chance to ask him about President Trump.
What is the most important thing that undecided voters need to know about Donald Trump?
I just think it's a character and temperament issue. I just really study what he's done and think about the 40 of us, including myself and Olivia Troy, who are trying to explain to you the danger of his personality and why he shouldn't return to the White House.
And there will be a lot of campaign surrogates here in the spin room, where behind me about 1,000 media members from across the globe are gathering. We've run into press from Japan, Mexico, Ukraine, just to name a few. And among the big name politicians expected here tonight, on the Republican side, Vice Presidential candidate J.D. Vance, Robert Kennedy Jr., as well as Vivek Ramaswamy, Senators Marco Rubio and Rick Scott of Florida. They will all be speaking on behalf of President Trump. Meanwhile, Now, on the Democratic side, representing Vice President Harris, Governors Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, Gavin Newsom of California, Roy Cooper of North Carolina, and Michelle Lujan Grisham of New Mexico. And ahead of the debate, we did hear from representatives from both campaigns. Let's start with Ms. Harris's communications director.
This is another opportunity to introduce herself, make sure that people understand who she is and what informs her values and how she wants to govern this country.
He prefers to have those policy discussions, and he's been doing that with elected members in Congress like Matt Gaetz, with former Congress member Tulsi Gabbard and others, very similar to what he did to prepare for that first debate against Joe Biden.
And we will, of course, be here all night hearing from both sides. Sade and Mike, I'll send it back to you at the National Constitution Center.